Well, greetings everybody, and welcome again to a brand new edition of the Inworld Review. Hot on the tails of MBTV News, which only finished 10 minutes ago, so you can hear me panting here, out of breath completely. But we will do our best. The Inworld Review is where we look at locations and arts and stuff like that, mostly on the hypergrid in OpenSim. Sometimes feature a few other things too, and sort of we try and tie it in a lot with our World Review. Hypergrid Safari. Hot on the tails of MBTV break at the moment for April, but crossover a little bit, as it were. Obviously, we have various news to do with the hypergrid and related virtual worlds. Anyway, only a few things today. You can find links to news feeds on this at Twitter, where I have an account, twitter.com/hyper. Sorry. Look about to say hypergrid business, don't you?
Yeah. I thought you were.
Metaworld News, 2 words squashed together as one, basically. And there's just links, to read, and I've got a couple of them ready to go now before we start the main thing.
Now, and before we get too far into it, could you click on your avatar? Your head is looking right at my shirt.
Having told everybody else what to do.
Right. Thank you very much.
Very good indeed. Yeah, I know. Okay. Behind the scenes information for all of you out there. Yeah, we have to do things like click while we're talking.
We do.
Do. Okay. Right. So, and I've forgotten where we were. Oh yeah. First, I'll go introduce our guest. I have James Atlloud with me, who is always with me. He's taking care of the filming and mixing of our sound from Discord and everything with the Inworld pictures. So thank you, James.
You're very welcome. Yep.
And,
to meet you.
Oh, you too.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Good to meet you. My guests today are Kelso Uxley and Dabishi Strolino.
Hello, Mal. Hey, Mal. Hello, James.
We're delighted to be here.
Honored to be here.
And I managed the names okay, did I? Right. Well, both Kelso and Dabishi are from Cria Novale, which is sort of Cria New, I suppose, in English. I don't know. But basically, we'll be talking about their grid, Cria Novale, and also one of their other regions, which I think is just called Cria, but they'll explain all that as we go along. So we've got video and pictures and stuff to show about their thing while we're talking. I'm going to start off with just 1, 2, 3, 4 unrelated items, basically, just to get us going and get them out of the way. ScienceCircle.org. This is coming up on the middle screen. This is a post by somebody called DP at Science Circle. That's Science Circle 2 words squashed.org. And it's looking at the Science Circle grids in OpenSim. All of which I think are on the hypergrid, though we don't get to hear about them quite so much. This piece is about 3 of their grids, basically, created by their 3 Science Circle members, Skip Dahlgren, Dr. Marianne Clark, and Marion Schmelzer. The scrolling down there, I'm not going to read it out for you, but you can see stuff there. And the blog also includes installation instructions for ScienceSim and everything else, and various other home pages. So you'll find this at sciencecircle.org. Moving on, we have Outworld's Dream Grid. This is AI Austin at blog.inf.ed.ec.uk. I hate having to read this one out. Right, blog.inf.ed.ac.uk. And he's looking at one of the Outworld's dream grids called Hobbiton, which, of course, is vaguely based on The Hobbit. There's a nice little movie there, at 3 minutes. it's if you click through to YouTube, you can get it at a bigger size, but we're not going to show that one. I downloaded it there. Right, and again, he's doing a roundup. These all run. Obviously, Outworlds is Fred Beckhausen and stuff. So it's looking at the Hobbit region. Various nice little pictures here to have a look at, and you can jump into all this via the hypergrid on OpenSim. Very colourful looking too. Zoom. That's somebody dressed as the Hobbit. Bilbo, is that Bilbo the Baggins or the Baggins the Bilbo? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, lots of pictures there. Actually, you want to just sort of go to the website and then pull out the pictures to look for yourself. But there's also a load of links here to. Actually, it's most of it is to the content that you can get from like open source sources like Open Game Art, and you can buy or get the wood panels and then bring them into OpenSim. So it's included a lot of background stuff there. Right, so that's blog.inf.ed.ac.uk, and let me see. Okay, so I have Winter Guardian virtual environments. I love it. I guess so long I can't read it. Okay, this is a meeting with Val Library exploring modernism in the metaverse. Again, this is on the hypergrid. Val Librarian is a bookie, I think you understand. And basically information about that. I'm going to try and give you this right. This is 5 words all jumbled into one. So we've got winter, WINTER, GARDIANVIRTUALENTS.wordpress.com. I would tell you to go to twitter.com/Metaworld News, where you'll find a link to save you having to type all that into your your bar. Right, and then finally, this has ended up here.
There'll be last names.
Okay, this is I'm not going to play all this. In fact, I should probably I may have already put this into our Mastodon feed too. But this is a show called the VR Chat Show, and I think it is in VR chat, but it's one of the first.
There are those that believe humanity was always fated to destroy itself. They'll tell you this future will always be inevitable. But this is a lie. You see, we perceive time and space around us as fixed, a clock steadily ticking ever forward. However, the lines between the past, present, and future are an illusion. Nothing but a thin veil behind which lies the path to many possibilities. I have left you everything you need to put things right. But be careful. Not all is what it seems.
Yeah, legs included.
It looks like Rec Room, not VR chat.
Yeah, well, it's called. I think it.
Yeah.
I think it's. I think it maybe. I forget. Basically, it's called VR Chat Show, but it's not filmed.
It's not filmed in VR chat. Okay.
Yeah. What they're talking about is it's a chat show about VR. But
okay. Fair enough.
Obviously, it's leading because it's called the VR Chat Show.
Right.
Anyway,
it misled me.
Yeah, you'll find it. I can't even see that. Oh yeah. The person at YouTube who won is called. No, what? Hang on. Why is it all blacked out? That doesn't make sense. Let me just go to the front here. Dev chats. Here we are. Okay. Well, this isn't very helpful. It's the Wanderer. It's not showing me who one should subscribe to. If you say, I think the account is simply called Dev Chat, and the VR Chat Show is just one of the things they're doing there. Anyway, I thought that was of interest, being as it's sort of rather amusing, but also social, virtual world orientated. But I'm going to put all that lot away now, and be back with you in a minute with something else, not what's on screen at the moment. So, moving on to our guests, and oh dear, I've done it with the mouse again, haven't I? Terrible, terrible. Let me just position myself conveniently and then forget about it. Right. So we're going to actually talk about Criano Valley. Now, as you guys know, I came in early in the week and I filmed a region that is actually yours, but isn't the one we were going to talk about. And then I came back and took some more footage of the one we were planning to talk about. So I think what we'll do is we'll start talking, and I'm going to show some of the longer film from Criano Valley, which is it's about 7.5 minutes here. So I'm going to get that playing behind us. And there is a little bit of music here, but it's very faint in the background. So, and some bits, as you can see, some of the foliage took a bit of a while to rose. But can you guys see where we are in this footage as we go, and maybe talk me through it a bit? Because obviously I was just running a camera around everything I could find. To give us some...
Yeah, well, we're on Novali right now. And we see part of the cherry groove stand to the left. And now we see the big greenhouse that contains a collections of birds. These are mesh birds that were used as model for the birds that are scattered everywhere in the sim. And typically there are birds from eastern Canada, and the sounds are carefully chosen to represent the real sound of the birds. But here is a kind of mausoleum where we have the shapes that are used to make the birds in the real size. We see the dandelions, plenty of them. It happens to be one of the way that you can use to travel. You see the big dandelions that close to the bridge. When you arrive in Novali, you can touch them. It'll sit you, and it's a vehicle that will move you around. You can't control where it's going. It's a preset tour, but we've selected the path so that you can see the best part of the region. Now you're going in direction of the landing point. So normally when people arrive in Novali, this is exactly where they land. And as the region is heavily loaded, we suggest that people stay in there for a few minutes until they see the texture properly.
Sure, I was finding out when I was filming it a little bit. I like the dandelion ride.
You tried it?
No, I carried on filming.
Okay. Here's a map of the region that you showed briefly, and it explains where people can see things and what are the main things that need to be seen in the sim.
Right. Oh, and the big old boat. I recognize some of these things. I had a 5-region place.
So that one is an old alley ship.
Yeah, I think I might even have had this at one point. It's quite roomy. The pirate adventures.
Close to the ship, you can see there's a buoy in the water. We see it right now. These are teleporters. So if you click on it, there'll be a menu opening giving you the choice to teleport instantly within the region. There's about 15 or 20 destinations.
So currently you are filming in the south part of the region. So the south part is having some core elements that are not changed across the seasons. However, the context will change. And when you are over the ridge and the other half of the sim, then this is where we develop special features that we generally associate with the season. As example, in winter, you will find in that area the anything that has to do with Xmas, Christmas, as well as a lot of sport
Snow.
and snow,
Yeah.
and naturally this is also where you will find in spring the maple grove and sugar shack. There is the first part, which is the core region, and the context and nature changing around that, and the other one, a lot of different activities according to the season. So we change the OAR 4 times a year. The seasons are not shown simultaneously, and so we call that virtual mindfulness. So
Is the if I can just ask, is that we say you changed the OIR? That, for those who don't know, basically is the the whole landscape, everything on it and the ground. But is your either the different AORs basically the same land but with different decor on it? So basically, I will see this.
I would say in the first part, yes.
Yeah,
In the
right.
first south half of the sim. And in the north, we play a bit on that. So, as example, you will find the Easter Valley at the same place where you find the Haunted Valley, but in the winter you don't see any valley anymore. It's a big forest where you do cross country ski. So we allowed ourselves a little bit more flexibility in the south part, in the north part, and a little bit more rigidity in the north part. Yeah, south, whatever, the other part.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Right. So, yeah. Now, nice thing about spring, of course, is we get heavy on the flowers and the foliage, just like real life. You know, the blossom comes out and the leaves come out, and
Exact.
you get that nice sort of
And
richness. In fact,
we have a nice flower delivery fleet here. We can see there are 3 trucks full of flowers ready to for a delivery.
right. Just as I pan out.
No problem.
Oh, we're back on. We're back on that one again. Let's see here. Yes,
Currently, because we're approaching Easter, we have a kind of chocolate hunt. There are 30 objects in the sim that can be picked, and it's a nice chocolate collection for all the chocolate lovers that are out there at this
What a
time of
shame
the
we
year.
What a shame we can't eat the chocolate in virtual worlds.
0 calories.
Well, I was just going to say I'm diabetic, so it's probably a good job I can't. Right.
Welcome to
Okay,
the club.
we're nearing the end of this clip, which was 7.5 minutes, and oh gosh golly, guess who?
Oh, this must
Right.
be Mal.
This is
Yeah,
me.
actually, when you teleported in the region, Mal, you arrived there. It's a landing point in winter.
Yeah.
And that's how I realized that we forgot to change the landing point. Now people are landing in the tent.
Right. Oh well. Oh, I'm back on. Oh, am I? I can't tell what we're on at the moment. 56.
You're close to
Currently,
the
you're going
inn.
to the Bacchus. It's a bit like a bistro.
Oh, yeah, I see. Sorry, and that's back on there. Okay, I'm just swapping over here to another clip. This is nearly 5 minutes. I'm not sure whether this is. You'll have to tell me whether this is Carnivale or the other one. I think I'll know the difference eventually.
I think you are in the swamp.
I think that's Kriya.
This could be Korea. Okay.
Oh yes, you are in Korea right now. Yes.
Okay, so maybe tell us a little bit about this too. This is actually a different. This region is actually next door to the other one, isn't it?
Exact.
So
Korea is a bit of a project on the back burner. You have part of it that is going to remain as it was, especially the area where you see a lot of brick buildings. This was the first region we begin to work on, and we wanted to make a bit of a place for, I could call that academy or school, or to provide some training on creativity or things related to educational applications. However, over time, we begin to wish to create very complex environment where we can train people. And this is how we started Novali. And we got so much involved in Novali and the seasons that Korea just remain in its first stage, and we will probably next summer begin to reanimate the work on Korea and see what we can do with it. Because now our fourth seasons are ready, we will not enlarge the Novelli as we did over the last few years. So it's
Right.
probably a pretty static things right now in Novelli. So
Yeah.
Korea is the next big projects that we will have to bring forward.
Novaldi started as a 2x2 region, and then we went to 3x3, and this year we expanded it to 4x4. So that's the maximal size we will reach with that region.
Yeah, yeah, it gets pretty. I got one that is 5x5, although it's a VAR file, but it gets quite unmanageable after a while. It's big enough that you really forget what's what and where.
Especially
It's
if you
actually
like,
impossible to see all the objects and in the search when it's beyond 3x3.
Oh yes, true. Yeah. Or even
So finding things is a lot more complicated.
Yeah. Which is fun if it's a quest or something like that. You know, the fat people can't cheat.
Right.
So I remember the second life when I used to go hunting, and my late partner and I would, you know, she'd have me go into the area search, and
Yeah.
we had our techniques of finding all the prizes. You know, via the
yes,
the
yes.
text-based interface. You know, hey, I'm not going to come be part hunting. Just give me the name, I'll find it.
By the way, just to tell you how the grid came about, we started in both in Second Life. In my case, it was in 210. Dabichi was a bit earlier, and then we moved to OS Grid, where we created a region in 212. But when there was a big crash in 2014, we lost everything, and that's how we decided to create a new grid, and we started all over again with Criano Valley.
Do you host this yourself, or is it hosted for you by another? You know.
No, we are not geek enough. So we are hosted at Dreamland Metaverse.
Right. Yeah.
Very,
Right.
very good support, very, very responsive. Naturally, it's not the cheapest in the world, but for us, it is the best use we can have. And really, we have access to all privilege that God have, you know, especially Kelso is really good in scripting. He is becoming better every day, so he has access to everything, and that's better like that.
So on Korea, there's a part of the region that's a bit like steampunk, and another part of the region is actually we wanted to reproduce part of the old Quebec City. Maybe you will show us the blocks. Yeah, we see the blocks right in the corner, the right corner in the bottom. This is the city map that we are planning to rebuild.
Right, I think we've got about 40 seconds left, and then we're out of film. Amazing how quickly it goes. Yeah, I was just kind of spinning around as one does to,
So you're showing the landing area in Korea, and if you click on the poster in front of you where there are 4 images, then you teleport to the second region, Novali, which was supposed to be the target for today.
Yeah, this is quite funny because I've just paused the picture, of course, as you can see. When I went to the wrong place by mistake a day early, Korea as opposed to Korea Novali, I landed here, but I didn't see this sign at the time, and I wonder
Okay.
where I was, because when I cameraed out, I realized that I was underwater beneath a boat.
Yes.
And then I moved up and I thought, well, that's an interesting landing area. And then I just moved around with the camera from the boat. And I
And
assumed I was in the right place, but I obviously
Right.
wasn't. But
And what you're showing now, the board, the yellow board, I changed the text on it right after you visited the other region. That we forget to update things.
yeah. Oh, that was the boat, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the boat. I landed underneath it. Probably got hard to know. I think that looks to me to be the end of the footage. Let's just see. I think we've seen this one already. Even some music in the background. Did we look at this already? Okay, I think we did.
Still in Korea here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, I'll pause that there then. I think we've seen
Wow,
it.
what is that big ball?
So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay. Let's continue for a second to locate what. Right, let's check out the balls. Oh well. What is it? I don't know.
What is it?
found it.
Oh, I think I know what it is. It is an old prim to sculpt, and sometimes they don't. And with that, you can create a very tiny soil if you want to change the texture on the soil for a small part. But sometimes because it's a sculpt, it doesn't rest properly, and you get a big thing like that.
Big balls.
Yeah.
I used to. I created a couple of pieces. I hesitate to call them art; they're accidents. But when I first found out about the sculptors, I just rezzed, some odd shapes, I guess in Second Life, and then I randomly loaded textures into them, as the map as opposed to a texture on the surface.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
A texture inside. Just randomly did this until I came up with some interesting shapes and thought, right, well, that's my piece of art for the day. Because you never know. I could never tell from the texture what was going to happen when I put it in as the surface map. You know what's going to happen when you put it in as an actual texture, but not when you just dump it in as a
as a sculpt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I know that feeling because I made like a little, very nice looking statue by accident that way, and then I put it in a pond, with like like it wasn't a fountain, but it could have been,
If you remember
So I was just going to say, after a while, I went back and it turned back into a square brim or something. So
Oh, really?
It didn't last that long. I think it lost its shape somehow.
Yeah, one of the problem we had also in SL with any sculpt was that there was a bonding block around that we don't see, but that we were projected outside of it, like having physics. So we don't have that in OpenSim.
Yeah. It's amazing that some of the things we don't have in OpenSim make it wonderful,
Yeah, true.
Restrictions in Second Life, for example, you forget just how many there are until you free them,
Yeah.
Not to mention the lag. Okay, let's we can come back to any of that film if we need to, but I've played it all there. So let's move. You brought with you, or what you gave me the other day, a load of slides which you've kind of numbered. Now I don't know. Either you can.
I can drive that, no problem.
Yeah, I'm got back to the beginning there. Now, if you click the arrow on the right, you know what the one I mean.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, you can go through them in the numbered order you gave me and talk about them that way. Yeah, okay, that's good.
Essentially, we will go through the 4 seasons. So there is 10 slides per season, and we begin here with winter.
Yeah.
Among
I never have guessed, he says, all that snow.
Sorry?
Sorry, I was joking. I said I'd never have guessed.
Oh yeah, so no way. It's we see how much bright you are you you catch everything. So, here is the farm, and the farm is there in all season, and you will see over in the next slides the farm transforming through the seasons. So this is the farm. Here is part of the new area where we do cross-country ski in the winter. We do have equivalent to a 7 kilometer cross-country ski with a lot of magical environment, with nice animals, some animash that's very nice. And the last year we were able to create a good EEP, like this replacement for wind light, really giving a sense of a night full moon in the winter. Here we see the Christmas market from above. And again, this is always created in the northern half of the sim. So you don't see any closed Kindle Mark or Xmas Mart in the summer. So just in the winter. Among the activities we have in winter, there is a lot of tours and program sports. Kelso will tell you a little bit more about that when the winter slides will be completed. So we do have here the tour with Santa. We go and visit the farm. We go and visit the church, and it's really fun. It's really follow the relief of the sim. Here is in winter the greenhouse with most of his production is a Christmas tree, and here you see a client just coming buying a Christmas tree. Um, Among the many sports we have in winter, we do have downhill ski. There is always an explanation kiosk showing how to get the equipment, how to get into the drive. There is three tracks, and from beginners, intermediate, and very expert level. Here it's an example of the chairlift coming to the downhill platform. Here is the instructions to do the cross-country ski 7 kilometer tour. We do have snow saucer. We'd also have toboggan elsewhere. And we also play a bit with the northern life. What you don't see here is the effect of this blowing wind in the snow, like we have in reality in North Canada in the winter. It's already spring, so perhaps Kelsey, you can talk about the activities, the sports in the winter.
Yeah, well, one of my specialties is to design moving objects. So we don't allow visitors to run their own scripts on our sim, but we have many objects that they can use because they belongs to either me or to Dabichi, and with that they can do a lot of activities. For instance, the ski country tour. You just need to click on the box, and here you go. It drives you for a 7 kilometer ride. Same thing for the ski jumps. Actually, one of my cousins is a world champion in slope ski. And when I saw him jumping, I said, "Well, I can do that in OpenSim," and that's how I came to make a huge jump with 7 turns. So it's spectacular. I can do as good as my cousin. What else? We also have well, the sleigh rides. That was the first time I was using an NPC in a script. I was very proud of that when I finally was able to find a horse that was working and attach it to the sleigh, and now we have this tour which is guided by Santa Claus himself. So I think that's what I want to say on the scripts for the winter time.
So now it's spring. So back to the
Now it's
farm.
spring. Just like
And
real life. Spring, sorry.
and in the farm in the winter in the spring, naturally it is blowing fruit trees. You see in the ground it is the wheat is beginning to sprout. That's really the feeling of the very pale greenery. As example here, there is no more a Christmas tree on sale, but flowers for Easter at the greenhouse. The greenhouse again with the delivery fleet. So we do have tricycle, bicycle, and trucks ready for delivering flowers. This is one of the what I call the nice gem that we created. Some of the things we created, we're okay with that, but some of them are we really like them. So this is the Easter Valley, and the Easter Valley is a bit fantastic, and a bit the story behind that is um, there is little rabbits who are responsible to keep for the world, for the history, the ancient mold to do chocolate mold, chocolate ducks, chocolate rabbits, and things like that. So you will be able to discover those mold as well as the results when you do them in chocolate. So and there is a pound at the bottom of that, and it's really the ambience is nice and a lot of details in the houses. Another habitat that is fun to visit in the spring is the swamp because it is the beginning of a real reawakening of the nature. A lot of sounds, a lot of birds, frogs. It's and there is a boardwalk, so you're not going to get wet even if there is a lot of water below that.
And no
Um,
mosquitoes.
no mosquitoes. Yes, yes. This is missing from the real life. And this is a new environment that we have now in the north. This is called the Boreal Trail. And we do have horse raisers, and they work really fine. And so you pick a horse and you go wherever you want along the trails. And again, we wish to have it very immersive, so you get the feeling of what it is spring in our area, and as well the all the sounds, the ambient sounds are nicely selected for that.
Yeah, actually, there is music everywhere in the sim, but we advise visitors not to turn the music on so that they can hear the sounds that we have
Yeah.
set for them everywhere.
So
It's funny. Sound makes so much difference actually, but you very often find people have, they've been in somewhere noisy where the sound hasn't made any, intelligent use. They turn it off, and of course the viewer thinks it's off until you put it back on. So you miss a lot of the bird sound, the
Yeah,
running water,
they're
that kind of.
they're key to our sim, and we note that frequently visitors will stay in the landing zone and just move their camera
Yeah.
around in the sim, and they're missing half of the story.
And this is one of the reasons why you see the dandelion seeds, the gigantic one just beside the dock at landing. So you see that on the picture there, and I wish to talk a bit about that because uh, that's probably the best way to do a first visit to our area. This is a very slow ride, and you're flying above different environment. And the good aspect of that is uh, because it is slow, you get the time to have a proper rizzing of everything around you. So
Right.
if because if you fly on your own and go fast, you will see a lot of textures that are not getting properly rezzed. But if you take one of there is two destinations. So one on the right is bringing you to the Easter Valley, But in the Easter Valley, there is another ride that can bring you to the Maple Grove. And on the left side, the Dandelion Seed is bringing you to the Maple Grove. So I really suggest that people use those, and it's really fun. Just sit on it, and it's also the best way to take pictures because you don't have to drive.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
when
I,
I
I
look
was
at
very proud of that script when I finished it. It uses as I said, keyframe motion as the way to move very smoothly. And after designing the itinerary, I added a random oscillation to it so that people can feel that they are pushed by the wind. And
oh,
it's really I find it magic. It's really something that was superimposed on the first movement that I created. I just added another one, and it's working beautifully.
So here, that's another part of spring. It is you have a look at the maple grove, and because we want to talk about maple sugar, maple syrup, and things like that, we showcase the spring when the production of maple syrup is made. It means that there is still a lot of snow in the wood, and it's part of the process of having the sap getting into the trees and being collected.
Incidentally, today around our house, the feeling is exactly as you see it on those pictures. We still have a lot of snow, and the trees are starting to grow, and we have the nice green colors. It's very representative of where we live.
So here you have a maple shack. So inside there is a lot of details. So you really have to get inside to see the food that is generally being eaten during the sugar time, and I must tell you, you have to be almost born with that to like it. It is an acquired taste, but there is a lot of details into that, including all the machinery that is being used to boil the sap and reduce it to syrup and then to sugar and things like that. So it's really worth visiting it. So this is collecting the sap in the old ways, means with a horse and a barrel, and getting into the area to get the sap that is collected in some sort of I don't have the word for that in English. So cans,
barrel?
sort of cans that are
Oh, a can.
attached to the trees, and
Oh, okay.
okay, so and then the people just take those cans and will transfer the sap into the barrel, and then the brave horse bring that to the sugar shack where it is boiled. And just be
Nowadays we use pipelines, but the old traditional way is so much nicer.
Yes, very much.
so here it's summer, so start again from
Oh, right.
at the farm, and I'm there on the horse, but I have my nautical suit, so to do surf. So
Oh,
a lot of
great.
water activities there. So I just switched the horse to the board. Here there is the surfboard area, and naturally there I must say,
Oh, yeah.
we
You
play a
know, on
lot
the
with kayaker magic. Nice creation like surfboard, windsurf, kayaks, and things like that.
now
Oh yeah.
anybody
Usually I do.
anybody
Sorry.
visiting can do the surfing and all this stuff, is it? Or is it just your area kind of
No,
thing?
no, they can. They can. The surfboard, I think there are three ready. The board, there are four or five that you can use, as well as the sailboat, same thing, kayak
Ah,
as well. So you can use. They are not programmed, so you can just drive them as it will
sure.
be your own.
And I must say, kudos to Kayaker Magic. He is such a
Oh
great
yeah.
scripter. All those boats are
Yeah.
working beautifully, and the kayaks and the boards. It's just gorgeous.
And the sailboards are not from Kayaker Magic, though. They are from Satyr Farm.
Oh, yes, I know them. Yeah.
So here it's we've developed extensive beaches and as well there. Don't forget to visit the houses. There is a little bit of storytelling in each houses. Over there you see a
Are
red
these,
one, which
are these? I'm just looking at that beach there now, for example. It's so big compared with when I was rush filming earlier in the what is currently it's set to spring, isn't it? So is the more beach in the summer when you change to summer mode kind
yes,
of thing?
yes, yes.
Okay, so it's really focused on
So
beaches. Okay, great.
you didn't miss it. It's just because in spring, no, we are in the maple grove,
Yeah,
and this
yeah,
is
of
what,
course, yeah.
and this is what I was explaining is like the north part. We play a lot with it from one season to the other, but just the first half is same things, just the natures change.
Sure.
So again, a lot
Oh,
of beaches, and you see over there a dancing pier. We do have dancing spot everywhere according to the season. So naturally, there is one on the ice for the winter. There is one above in the air in the swamp area. There is the pier at the beach, and music is can be accessed there as well.
right now,
Kayaks,
actually, if I just interrupt here, although
yeah,
maybe you want to talk about it afterwards, because obviously we're looking at destinations, and by the way, these photos are really lovely. I mean, they're all well photographed, if you see what I mean. But obviously, you say you've got like a music venue and stuff like that, so this is a whole other side to it, isn't it? I presume you have activities that going on for people all year round, regardless of the season.
yep,
Yeah. Maybe tell us about that later, but let me cover it. I don't want to interrupt your travel
yeah, no
logs.
problem.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, again, here you see one of the many teleporters that we have in the region. So clicking on the big buoy will open a menu, and you can jump to another destination in the sim.
Right.
And here it is the Canada Coast Guard lighthouse as well. If you come and visit in the summer, really get into the houses. I approach creation as a photographer, but as well as a story teller. So you will get the sense of the life of a lighthouse guard over there.
Something I've just noticed. It's Canada, but the only flag I can't see is the Canadian one.
Yes, there is one, and there is at the top of the flag. There is the Quebec one, so we are from Quebec.
Oh, so yeah, regional and okay, okay. I thought that would have been funny.
That one is a funny one. So next summer you really have to come and visit that one. This is the entry of the underwater tour, and I will let Kelso talk about it because it's probably one of its best
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah.
This is by far my best script for tour. You see, there's an iris door below the cask,
Helmet.
and if you touch it, then suddenly you're starting a submarine tour. First, you will go through a tunnel that brings you to the bottom of the water. There are camera positions changing. Sounds are changing everywhere. Point of views is just fantastic, and the ride lasts for about 4 minutes, and I've seen people doing it 3-4 times because they so enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's well, of course we talk about a script. You need to come and try it because it's really, really worth doing that ride.
And here you have an example of me as a scaphandrier. I don't know. How do you say that in English? So those guys who were having a old
Scavenger.
scavenger, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm here there, and you see those lights. There is a lot of animals. Some are moving, some not. But it's really a nice environment. Okay, now we are in the fall, and
Ah,
back to the farm.
autumn, as we call it in England.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's what we say in
Autumn.
French too.
Autumn.
Yes, I know.
That's
Well, you
right.
know these Americans.
So that's I prefer autumn. So that's again in the farm, and one of the things in fall is like you will see the contrast between the abundance of colors and the black, gray, violet things related to Halloween. So here it's the positive aspect, which is the not dark, I mean of the farm, and we are currently harvesting wheat. Oh, you see the contrast there. We're beginning to be on the Halloween side with the castle
Yeah.
in the back and a hot air pumpkin tour. That was really fun.
You mean a balloon, but a pumpkin?
Yeah. That's a real fun one because it works exactly like a real life hot air balloon. Means you can control only the height,
Altitude.
altitude. That's yes, according to how much warm heat you bring into the balloon,
Yeah.
and the rest is the wind of the sim. So you never know where you go. And as long
Oh,
as you keep the things high with the heat, with the burner, you continue to keep floating, and it's really fun. And every time one is going away with visitors, another one is res automatically for the next. So sometimes we had groups coming, and we had 7 or 8 of those pumpkins in the air. It was really beautiful.
I'm just going to say the sight of 8 flying pumpkins. Only in a virtual world.
Yes. um, Back to the farm because harvesting in the farm involved a lot of pumpkins as well. So and you see the wheat is ripe and the cows are happy. Here you have a view from above in the
Haunted
haunted
Valley.
valley, and again really get inside of each houses. You have a sortilege or a spell house, you have a bistro, you have a fortune teller house, you have a bit like home hardware type of um, a little boutique, a church with haunted ghosts. Really, it's a place where you have to spend time on your own. It's the best way to discover it. The Black Castle or the Dark Castle, that's the other part of the Halloween area as well.
Maybe.
The challenge there is to find your place back into the castle. For myself, it's even difficult when I want to put a sofa in the right place. I don't find the place anymore, so that's a complex castle. So this one is a funny one too. That's our little curiosity shop for Halloween time, and it's probably a place where I got the most common on OpenSim World when I have created a coronavirus using little pumpkins with bones across it that was really looking like a coronavirus, and I just put a title such as "Coronavirus Attacked at Novalli." Oh my God, you should have seen the comments. Things like, it's really not fun. You shouldn't do that. And others were saying, oh,
Oh, it's
that's
very
creativity.
funny. It's
Yeah.
very funny though, because I on the nightly news I watch in the UK, whenever almost every day still, there's something about the virus, and they've got they've got a graphic behind it, which is fairly explicit. It actually looks quite beautiful when you look at it in isolation. But the virtual world is an ideal place to I mean, there've been molecular and biological type experiments. If you want to actually demonstrate what this invisible thing actually does, then you can make it visible
Yeah.
in the virtual world and actually show people, you're walking around and, I've seen animated sequences where somebody's speaking and they're not wearing a mask and it shows the path, of the moisture coming out of somebody's mouth and settling on somebody else. Now, what's so terrible about this is like it's a war, but we can't see the enemy. But if we actually model it in virtuality and as a simulation, we can actually see the enemy and actually understand better what the
True.
problem is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, just an interlude there. So, I can see people might laugh if it's taken a bit frivolously, but, there's a time and place for everything,
So, and again, the pumpkins, you cannot have fall without autumn, without
Tons of
pumpkins.
pumpkins.
Yeah.
And the
And
scarecrow.
and the scarecrow. And here, that's another one that is fun. It is a motorcycle we found somewhere with a skeleton on it, but Kelso has animated it, and really in the fall you really have to try. We call that the hell of a ride, and you, it's really funny.
Yeah.
If you want to film Mal. It's the positions are incredible. It does a lot of nice shots. So
You if you just touch it and instantly you start moving, you turn into flames.
I was just going to say,
And
like the Ghost Rider or something.
and and, and
Yeah.
the motorcycle runs as fast as I could make it run. So it's really I wouldn't say scary, but it's a hell of a ride.
This one is your last ride.
Oh, yes, I know the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper.
Ta-da.
What,
Yes,
he hijacks you and takes you out to that boat and you sink, and that's the end of the story.
exactly. So, and naturally there is the music that goes with that. Ba, 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 ba. The real one. So you get a nice feeling.
Yeah.
And that's the abundance of color of the fall. So everywhere where you can show it in the nature, this is how we show it in the valley, and that's it. So this is you went through the 4 seasons.
Wonderful.
So
I mean, I'm just thinking. I know it's Thursday in the audience here, but I mean, if we go down on a safari, it's going to have to be It's not going to be a 1 hour on a Wednesday. It's going to have to be 4 hours every day of the week. To get all those
But the good
animals.
thing is like we showcase one season at a time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is going to be spring, and
Uh,
we'll concentrate on the Easter Valley and Maple Grove.
we'll
Sure.
make a plug on May 4th. This will be the first destination of the second season of Hypergrid Safari.
Yes.
So the second season, the restart of the second season is in Novale Spring. And Tirza asked about visiting again in summer. So there will be another one in summer. We're, I would say, a frequent destination.
Having seen this, I mean, it's an ideal place you would want to visit in each of the 4 seasons, because I can tell from the photographs it's so different. The activities will be different. You're not going to go skiing in summer, are you?
Oh, I see Tirza is listening.
Maybe you are. But, okay, you're not going to go. You're not going to sunbathe on the beach in the winter.
Yeah.
No.
It's a shame we didn't see a bit more of the underwater ride. Actually, I mean, well, there was a limited time. I'll have to come back and take some more film at some point of the, the close-up areas, so to speak. But okay, you also so that's literally in about 6 weeks' time, I think, the first of the new safari. Hang on, May 5th, is it? Something did you say?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
The next safari, I think it's May 5th or something like that. So it's literally about 4
May
or 5.
4th. May 4th. Wednesday,
right.
May 4th.
Okay, so it's literally about a month from now, 4th to 3rd to the 4th. Yeah. Okay, so that's so soon. It's amazing how time flies. So that's something to really look forward to.
And the change of season, it's according to equinox and solstices. So every 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually we have to close the region for 2 weeks so that they can rearrange things and make sure that all scripts are running and that everything is all right. This year was a bit longer because we had this expansion that Dabichi needed to landscape, to complete the landscape. But we're usually open all year round, except that in between seasons we need to close down for a few days.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, you can't do it any other way, really, can you? It's not as though you can just.
And I think we could invite people if some of our audience would like to get a tour, a private tour. They could contact us, and we can certainly arrange for something. Definitely, there was one coming up with the safari, so hopefully we'll have a big crowd visiting. But if other peoples cannot make it on that date, we can perhaps arrange something.
I guess we could also offer one to be done in French with our former group of Virtual Dreams. And people can exchange in French, and eventually we could also offer a visit in German as well.
Very good. That is one. Well, obviously, as Steza would tell you, when we do safaris, it's always in text, so people, rather than talking like we are here, because so many people from different languages want to get together to experience the thing. So at least if it's in.
Yeah, well, the French crowd tend to be very vocal in those visits.
They take over the voice channel anyway, so you can't really. Can't really. You can't get the word in edgeways, really. That's a quite private joke there, really. Yeah. Now, tell me as well. Well, remind me at the end. I'm going to make sure everybody knows how to contact you. I mean, presumably they can come to the grid. I'll get James, in fact, to put the hypergrid address at the bottom of our screen because it's HG Priano Vale.
.ca colon 8052.
Right.
And we are on OpenSimWorld, so if you search for region No Valley on OpenSimWorld, you will find the address.
Now, as you said, you could give personal tours to people who wanted, for example. How would they contact you there? OpenSimWorld or
OpenSimWorld? It's probably the best way to leave us a comment. And what we do, we discussed that this morning, Kelso and I. We'll probably specify dates where we could do that. So, and just announce it as events on OpenSimWorld.
Sure.
Eventually, on the long term, as we have more or less completed the landscaping of the Novalie region, we'll have time to do other projects. And one project that I would like to make eventually is some kind of scripting school where people could learn to do tours the way I do. It's a bit complex, so it's just not a matter of dropping a script in the box. So, but I'd be more than willing to share how to do it and see what others can do with the technique.
I must say, I am appalling at that kind of stuff. I can join prims together, and I can drop a script that like an animation script into an object and things. But to actually write a script. I'm lucky if I can even edit one to be a bit. But to actually write one from scratch, it's just not my thing at all.
I have dozens and dozens of script created from scratch.
Yeah.
Of course, like everybody else, I built
can
on
give
the
them to
shoulders
me.
of giants. Frederick's database has been my source for a very long time. But nowadays, I tend to do my own stuff.
Well, it's the way to do it. I used to. I mean, the way to learn anything is usually not to read the manual; it's to take something apart. I mean, I know. I used to know somebody when I was a lot younger. He was always on his. Well, he's a motorbike freak, not Hell's Angel, but definitely a motorbike. But he was never on them because he'd get a motorbike and before he'd actually ridden it for a day, he would take it apart. And he'd be there for months trying to put it back together again. You know, but you got to admit it's a good way to learn. Take it to pieces and then try and figure out how to put it together again. It's probably it's probably a better way to learn than have somebody tell you from scratch, so to speak. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was actual events because an underwater trip, great event. A flight in a sorry, what was it? A pumpkin balloon. Yeah, that sounds like fun. A lot of that sounds like great fun, actually. But a lot of grids, I mean, I'm not going to mention them by name, but all they seem to ever offer is like a blues club.
Yeah.
Or an exhibition of hypergrid stuff from here, there, or everywhere. Do you do any of that too? Have you got like I know you mentioned when I interrupted you by mistake, you've got a little club there somewhere. Do you actually have musicians performing or do that kind of thing? Or is it just landscape orientated really?
No, we do. We are half between these two extremes. So we do have dancing places, but we never had DJs or musicians coming in to do something. What we manage is to have a selections of potential stream on the area where we do have music and people can just play with that. However, this is something we're thinking about eventually to get DJs and to make some celebrations to maybe once a year or something like that. So.
We had a singer.
Oh yeah, before.
Before, yeah, it was
Truelli.
typically with associated with safari tours. What's her name again?
Truelli telling.
Yeah,
Oh,
she no longer sings now.
Yeah. Oh, she was like a resident on so many safaris actually, and always that always that sort of topical singer kind of thing. Sort of not the sort of person who stand on a stage and get massive applause for singing, but more to relevant. A bit like True Resistance in Second Life. If you've ever come across her, they sort of feel like they're sort of sitting with their guitar in the corner talking or singing about something topical that everybody can relate to rather than some love word or whatever. Yeah.
At the dancing place, one things we do though is we use like many others the NA Combi dancing disco ball. However, we changed the cards into it, so the chances are that you're going to dance with a potential Santa or a potential Eskimo in the winter, and likely someone in shorts in summer and things like that.
Oh, went dead for a second there. Yeah. Right. I was watching somebody doing an interview. I was watching somebody doing an interview last night, and it got to a point where the person they were talking to was incredibly interesting, and they just ran out of questions. I think I just had that moment.
Oh my God!
Okay, hang on. I've got James here, of course. James, any questions you'd like to ask?
No, I mean the builds are beautiful, and I mean it looks like something that video and photos just can't can't fully describe it. I think a person needs to be
Yeah.
there and experience it. The scripting sounds really fun.
Yeah, and it needs to take people need to take their time and immerse themselves in the region.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
a
that's
5-minute visit doesn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
or,
guess
or,
the
a,
best.
or a 10-minute visit in the case of my filming.
I guess the best compliment we got one day was someone who is originally from the Quebec area, and she
Yeah.
is currently living in Australia. And she had or she has a boyfriend in Australia, and she told him, "You really have to come with me and visit this winter area. It is really like home." And it's really funny because it was her way to share the feel of winter, but virtually with her boyfriend in Australia.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite funny that I remember, especially when I was in Second Life at first too. But and this is actually also video documentaries or things on on video or DVDs as they by now. There is something really nice about basking around in hot summer weather, when there is any, of course, and actually watching on TV like some high resolution shots of the Arctic or something like that. And conversely, in midwinter, when you're busy ramping up all the heating indoors, there's something like rather nice about looking at beaches in summer. So it's like the wind, and the virtual world's the same. It's like the window in which you're walking through a window into the exact opposite season from the one you're stuck with in reality. There's a certain something in that. I don't know about you, but I quite like that transition, as it were. Feel warm in winter by going to the summer in virtual world. Right. Well, I think we've I don't know how long, but about an hour and a quarter. So we've had quite a thorough look at that. Anything else you guys want to say, explain, or anything before we sort of call it a wrap?
I would say we love having visitors. When we are there, we love talking to them if they wish to talk. And again, don't stay in the landing camp. Just
Yeah.
take the ride. Just walk. Just close your musics and listen to the sounds and look at around, and you will get the real immersive experience. But you really have to do it that way. So. And we try when to create exercise and hunts, we try to make that so that people really have to move into the sim to participate to it. You cannot do the hunt from the camp. So really, everybody is welcome. When we're there, we're having fun to salute you and enjoy.
Absolutely wonderful. So no more visiting by me in camera mode. Down to the ground, Mal. So sometimes you just forget. Okay, well, this is wonderful. I think we can sort of close now. I see busy typing here.
Yeah.
And,
I also I have a question. I put an address in for the grid, and I put that into Inworld chat. But is that the correct address?
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay.
This will bring people to the Kria region, and then from there they can click on the poster and get to Novali.
Excellent. Very nice.
So don't panic if you get under the boat.
Oh, of course. That link goes to where I got to.
Yeah.
Before it was existing. Right, I got you. Yeah.
I guess we were testing you, Mal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the guinea pig for the yellow sign. I know. Right, okay, that's wonderful. Well, I think that's what we'll call it a day here now, or a night, depending on wherever and whenever you are, to go back to my old face.
Thank you, Mal. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Oh, and we had
Thank you,
applause in
and,
the audience. We have
thank
applause
you to
from
the
our
audience. Yeah.
Thank you to the audience, yes.
And we this show, of course, is available for replay whenever you like on my own channel at YouTube. So just look up Mal Burns and news, Inworld review, various other things. And yeah, hope you've all enjoyed it. We were treated to what I consider some lovely scenery there. I think the photos work better than any film I made at the beginning because I was in the air, you know. And whoever took, which of you took the photos? Is it both of you? Because they really were high quality photos. I thought, you know, the balance of color and like they studied, you know, rather than a quick snapshot. So very impressive. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
See you
Kelso.
then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Take care.